Welcome back to First Take. Daryl Morey out as president of basketball operations with the 76ers. Josh Harris announced on Tuesday. Bob Myers, who was an executive with the Warriors and our colleague here at ESPN, will lead the search for the new head executive in Philly. Nick Nurse will remain the head coach. This comes days after the Sixers were swept by the Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The problem with the Sixers is their contract obligations. Next season, Philly will have to pay their stars and pay them a lot of money. They are the only team next season that will owe over $40 million to three players, not one, not two, three players on their roster. So given the contract structure and their struggles, should Tyrese Maxey want out of Philadelphia now?
You know what? I think that is something that he needs to strongly consider. It's got to be deflating and disappointing. He led the league in minutes this year, 38 minutes a game. He was the fifth leading scorer, averaging over 27 a game. The guy's a spectacular player, and Daryl Morey put him in a pinch. There's no way around it. Daryl Morey, listen, I like Daryl Morey. I respect him, but he's been too addicted to analytics for too long. And I've told y'all this story before, and I'm going to say it again. I know it's been uncomfortable for people to hear. Damn that, we got to keep it a buck, okay? Here's the deal. Years ago, when they lost a playoff game, I knew that Daryl Morey was on his way. I knew it would be a matter of days before that man was gone. When he walked up to Tillman Fertitta with a bunch of stats, pointing out what they had did right and said, so you see, we really won. I knew it was over. Now, y'all figure out how I know that story. You understand? I ain't asking you, I ain't guessing. I'm telling you. That's what happened, okay? The man is addicted to his analytics. 5 of the 6 years he's in Philadelphia, they make the playoffs. What does it matter? They never get to a conference finals. I know injuries had something to do with it, but Daryl Morey historically has leaned on stars, and a lot of people have been negligent when it comes to all the ancillary pieces around those stars that can help elevate you. The true winners that have won championships, they do it a bit differently. Sam Presti, for example, which is why he's the greatest executive in the sport right now. Having said all of that, you Bob Myers, he ain't gonna like this. This is our buddy. We worked on NBA Countdown. I got my mad love for my man Bob Myers. He gonna get mad. I don't give a damn. Man, hell with all this nonsense, this talk about you gonna find somebody else. You already have who you need. You leave Elton Brand as your general manager. You handle the decision making as president of basketball operations. Just because you're the president of this new group that he's got going on does not mean that you're the president of sports for Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. Damn it, make part of your role finalizing the decisions for the 76ers. That's all. You leave the legwork to the GM you already have in place in Elton Brand, who knows a thing or two about basketball and knows what he's doing. He just answers to you. And you say yay or nay. We have executives in every industry allocating responsibilities to other people. And then when it's time for the decision to be made, you bring all the intel to them and they make the call. That's all Bob Myers has to do here. Josh Harris, don't listen to Bob Myers. Bob Myers, I don't give a damn. He got the Commanders. And Lord knows what else Harris has, the billionaire that he is. I do know this. He don't have a championship on an NBA level. Bob Myers got 4 of them. Why the hell are you going to look for somebody else? You do it. You make the call. Leave all the legwork to Elton Brand. Bring in whoever you want to along with Elton Brand and make sure that the decision comes through you, because that will entice Tyrese Maxey to say, hey, man, this is a good situation here. I'm in a good situation because I got an owner who brought in an executive that knows a thing or two about winning championships. I'm good. But to me, that's what it's going to take, and I don't think that any other kind of decision should be made. The hell with Bob Myers' search. Bob Myers needs to look in the mirror. That's where the search ends. You do it. I ain't telling him to give up the other stuff. Do that too. But there's nobody that needs to be making the decisions about the future of the Philadelphia 76ers over Bob Myers.
So right now it says Bob Myers, president of sports for Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, will lead the search for the new executive and will oversee the franchise's basketball department in the interim. So he is overseeing everything.
I'm saying wipe out the interim, Shay. Just stop it. Stop with the interim stuff. Let the city, Philadelphia deserves better. Oh, no, interim status. You're a four-time champion. Hell, you mean interim? That means you leave in the second you pick the successor to Daryl Morey. No, you be the successor. You tell the city of Philadelphia, the buck stops with me. That is the message the city of Philadelphia needs to be hearing from Bob Myers.
Well, we'll get to the city of Philadelphia in a little bit. That's one of the most overrated sports fan bases in the world.
Okay.
We'll spend some time on that in a little bit. That is a horrendous, always has been. I'll give you the statistics.
That is a lie.
I'll give you the statistics. I give you the statistics. So, they had 5,000 people at a Game 7 Bucks Sixers in '82 with Julius on the team. And they won 99-98. And they had 35,000 across the street, Cubs Phillies on Mother's Day. I'll give you the statistics. Okay. Go ask Billy Cunningham.
Right.
It's a horrendous.
I'll also give you statistics.
That's terrible.
When I was there covering the team for 10 years,
right.
I worked in the city for 17 years,
right.
and I'm telling you right now, whether it was the Eagles, whether it was the Sixers, the house was packed. They didn't have these problems. When I was in the building, they didn't have that problem.
How about
because they were garbage in the city.
How about Friday
because they were garbage in the city.
How about 2 years ago?
Please.
Oh, you're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're going to support the 76er fan? Oh, you don't know what you... Why? Because you were covering for the Philadelphia Inquirer 10 years ago, running around for Heinz Iverson? You got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me. Philadelphia is a fantastic sports town. Philadelphia is a fantastic sports town.
It's a great football town.
You understand?
It's a good baseball town.
You just finished saying it's a
good hockey town. It is an awful, has been forever NBA town.
He just said they were a terrible sports town.
NBA.
And then follows that up and then says football, baseball, and hockey, they're great.
NBA.
Because the NBA franchise hasn't given anything for them to care about. They've been too focused on analytics.
Serving 5,900 Game 7 of a second-round series. What's the excuse?
But that's 40 years ago. I'm sorry. I don't recall that.
It's Julius Erving.
Excuse me. It wasn't that way when he went up against Bird and Boston. It wasn't that way.
Celtic fans don't know that. You're nuts. You are freaking nuts.
You're crazy.
You don't know what you're saying. You are nuts.
Get out of here.
Number 2, Daryl Morey is the most overrated general manager, basketball aficionado in the history of the National Basketball Association.
I agree 1,000%.
Excuse my French. His ass from his elbow. He gave a fortune to freaking Harden, which is a disaster. He is disastrous. Daryl Morey, give me a freaking break. And everybody knows that Harden forever, he put his money in him. That was ridiculous. And number 3, listen, I love Maxey too. He's a great kid. But in most of the guys who demand trades, they're the Jordan types. They're the Durant types, Kyrie Irving types who've won championships. Is Maxey that good that he's going to walk into the Philadelphia front office? Hey, I'm Tyrese Maxey. Get me out of here.
Tyrese.
Whatever. Okay. That's a little strong.
No, but that's real. Every single thing that you said. Tyrese Maxey got to prove himself. He can't walk in. We can't be asking the question of shit he want out of Philly. That resume ain't long enough. It ain't long enough. 2-time All-Star, NBA Most Improved. I don't see no all-NBA selections on there.
What did you give him to work with?
No. He needs to prove that he's actually a franchise guy, because as much as we could criticize Joel Embiid for what he looked like against the New York Knicks and his health, and we could criticize Paul George for not showing up, Jalen Brunson was busting Tyrese Maxey ass, and he's been doing that for the past 2 seasons. He's been owning the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's keep it a buck. When you talk about point guard versus point guard, Jalen Brunson is real comfortable in there, rubbing his feet together, wiggling his toes when he played the Philadelphia 76ers. Tyrese Maxey ain't took that personal. He don't have enough to go to the front office and say he won't out. You still proving to show that you're actually a damn franchise player that could carry the squad.
I think from the macro perspective, it feels like Tyrese Maxey is the only tradable asset you have at this point that represents your franchise. That's how it feels like.
You got VJ Edgecombe,
but he's so young.
Yeah, but people want him. And Kelly Oubre value is high too as well. But what I'm saying, he got to prove himself to be a franchise guy. He hasn't done enough.
Okay. I'm sure we'll continue to talk about the 76ers for a long time this offseason. Coming up here, speaking of Knicks, Knicks fans are seeing orange and blue skies. It's time to acknowledge they might be more dangerous than the defending champs.